Yo, what up, guys? We are back. We are back. We are back. We are back. We got a hot show today. We got the one, the only Jones Elite Training Coach. Ralph Jones is in the building today. Can you hear me good, Coach?
Absolutely. I can. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. We're gonna talk some sprints. We're gonna get into some more stuff today. And guys, hey, it is me. I don't have my glasses on, but it is Texas Track Dad today. I believe that. Before we get into this, I want to give a shout out to my guy over there at Trackborn. If you're looking for any equipment, apparel, anything, go to trackborn.com. Put in Texas Track Dad that get you a discount, okay? And also, we got a hurdle clinic coming up. Coach Sammy Dabbs is putting on, and that's going to be. Let me pull this up real quick. It's going to be Sunday, December 18th, 3 p.m. Session 3. It's going to be off-season series. He's going to be going over short and long hurdles. All right. More information once the league go out. I get that to y'all as well. But right now, we talking about Jet Elite training. That's what we on right now, right, Coach?
That's it. Come fly with us.
Let's go. Let's go. Welcome to the show, Coach. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thanks for having me. My name is Ralph Jones. I'm the founder of Jones Elite Training, Division I collegiate coach, as well as Division II junior college, two-time junior college national coach of the year, and now the founder of Jones is one of the top high performance training programs in the country, along with this elite training and Daniel's high performance, working primarily with our hurdlers, accomplished quite a bit in the past 33 months. Athletes who won or are part of 62 individual, regional, independent, public school, AAU and age group and high school state titles, as well as the women's hurdle national champion, women's Adidas 4x1 relay champions, 9 Americans, 2 age group national champions, 2 Gatorade athlete of the recipient, Cameron Rose in 2019. And that's what we've been doing in the past 30. We just getting started.
Hey, nice, Coach. Hey, you're definitely busy. You're definitely busy, and those are some those some great accomplishments right there. Since we here, let's go ahead and talk about two of your upcoming elite sprinters. You was telling me about them earlier. Can you hit a little bit on them before we get into the questions?
We got 2 athletes I've been working with since about 10 years old, so 4 or 5 years, 15 years old. Both sophomores and two of the top freshmen in the state. Waken was your 2022 AAU U16 2, running 21:48 with 10:56. Was injured in high school, and so really didn't have a kind of freshman year though. He's now with me, Charlotte Christian High School, where I started coaching at last year. We look for some this year, and then Nina Dominique is also a sophomore. She the second, the number 1 ranked freshman female in the 2 and the 100. PRs of 11:62 and 394 is one who I'm really, really looking forward to some big things for both of them. Will be moving up to 400 this year, which should help those sprint times. And looking at both of these athletes, finishing out the two of the top male and female sprinters in the country.
Nice. Good deal. Shout out to them. I know you. So what you say, sprints? That's going to be your specialty. Would you say that, Coach?
Well, speed is our specialty. I wouldn't say sprints.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah.
And go ahead.
Yeah. The reason I asked you that I'm coming up to this first question is going to be, do you think is a such thing as a sprinter's DNA? Are you born a sprinter, or can you be trained to be a sprinter?
Well, I think there's truth in both of those. Just depends on the type and the level of sprinter. I would say genetics play a huge, a person's ability to, whether that be a sprinter, jumper, whatever, genetics plays. I'm of the opinion that, Jones Elite Training and Daniel's High Performance. However, a donkey ain't gonna be the thoroughbred. Thoroughbred genetics. You just can't match alone. However, the training definitely helps. And with regards to it, there's definitely a mentality that to be an elite level successful sprinter, that is kind of, there are certain characteristics that you have to have, and that coaches look for, that make sprinters who they are.
Yeah, it's funny you should say. It's funny you should say that, because that's actually one of the questions on there. The characteristics of a good elite sprinter. What's some of those? What do you think? I know you got, like you say, you got to be strong-willed. It's a lot of stress being at the top. They battle with that all the time.
I get all the time, but to be a sprinter, you got to have that dog. You can't be soft as a sprinter, because a lot of swag and there's a lot of ego at that starting line. You got to be confident in yourself. But in terms of just being a top-notch sprinter, certain characteristics that you have to have. I think it's important that you're because there are a lot of peaks and valleys, ups and downs. I can go through a plethora of stories from each and every one of my athletes, my top level sprinters, and we can talk about those, the things that they had to go through and persevere to really realize their potential. And then, with regard to some of the things that we put our athletes through physically, there's also a confidence that you have to have, sprinter, even when other people don't necessarily have that confidence. Are true to yourself. You understand what your abilities are. A good program, a good coach, and a good village around you that's helping to develop you. Those are kind of things that kind of encompass being an elite level sprinter.
Yeah, yeah. And for those who are watching, if y'all have any questions, if y'all want to chime in on some topics or anything we're saying, just let me know. I have the chat up here. I can see everything. Also, Coach, what about the relationships with the coach, the athletes, and the parents? Does that
Mhm.
play a huge part for the success of the athlete?
Absolutely. Es- Especially when you're dealing with I'm both a private coach and a high school coach. And any and all relationships, communication is key. Um, Difference, however, from on the private side, a parent um, kind of reaches out for your service, not receiving something somewhere else. So coming up with the athlete and the parents having a, a great open communication in relationship to where and kind of their role as the parent in this relationship, me as the professional. Um, if you're paying me for my expertise, this is going to be the plan, and there be a trust level there as the private
Mhm.
coach. This is the plan that we're going to lay out. We're gonna communicate about that plan, and we have to be age in order to do the thing that's the come up with the best plan and the best pro for that athlete.
Yeah, Coach, I always say it's just another piece of the puzzle. Everybody work together. You got the coach working together, parents working together. You got high school coach, club coach working together, parents on the same page. Man, that makes that camp
Absolutely.
stronger for the athlete. You know what I'm saying? And it's needed. It's needed.
Yeah. It really is a village.
Yeah.
And I have some phenomenal parents. You know, um, Jones Elite Training and Daniels High Performance have exponentially because of um, the ships and the trust that the parents have in us, and then um, them allowing trusting the process, and then them getting those results, and then going in their stories, and bringing more um, potential athletes uh, into the camp. So our parents go above and beyond. I know it's kind of a cliche. People talk about family all the time, but it really is a family type relationship where you know the everybody understands, all the adults that have something to do with that athlete, whether that's club coach, high school coach, parent, um, private coach. Every decision is based on what's best for the athlete and not what's best for them or what's best for their ego. Extremely important when dealing, kind of on both sides of that fence.
Yeah. I agree. I'm with that. And the athletes, they can tell when something not right, something not right in the camp. They know. Um,
Right.
so yeah, so hopefully those who's watching, hey, let's work together. At the end of the day, we trying to do what's best for that kid, best for the athlete. We trying to get them in school and try to get them off school so they get a good education. They go on, but beyond that, it is what it is. That's what we're trying to do. But let's work together. Hey, this question here, this might shut the show down when I ask this question because I seen it.
You
We
know
was
what's
talking about it earlier.
let's go ahead and just rip
All
the
right,
scab off.
all
Don't even,
right. So okay, indoor season is here, right? So,
uh-huh.
is there a such thing as running too fast in indoor, and does that affect the athlete's performance for the upcoming outdoor season?
What does that even mean?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. That's what I'm trying to figure. I was on Twitter. I see somebody put on there, hey, athletes, you don't run fast now. You need to wait till the summertime to start. You need to wait till outdoor to run fast.
Hey, yeah, sometimes you should just stay in your own lane. As track and field is, is our, that's our sport, and like Herm Edwards said, the NFL, you play to win the game. Well, you train to run fast, run fast, and that's the objective. I think the people who say that are those people that put kind of those, in my opinion, it would appear that they don't really a true understanding of progressive development. Because if you're athlete, you have a plan and there's a progression there, and it's age, and you have a plan and a blueprint on where you're going, then okay, at this point in the season, we should be running this fast. This point is faster. At this point of the season, we should be in there. There's a consistent progression, the long-term plan, the end goal, but that comes from tedious work and planning and strategizing, and that trust and commitment in the coach and the athlete and the parents. That's where all of those things come into play. That's how that happens. That's how you can get to a point where your athlete. I expect for the first meet of the year, we're going to run fast because we've been training as fast as we're going to run. But if we don't run, we've been running, we not go to a meet to run fast, just so that we can save it for the what is that? So I'm definitely definitely believe that you're programming correctly and you're progressing correctly, the plan, then there's no such thing as too fast.
Yeah, I never get that because every season, every time indoor season starts, I always see that. I always see it. I always see coaches saying that, and it's like, I mean, why not run fast? We going to these indoor meets. We paying for travel. We're not just going down there to have fun. We going down there to win also. And like you say, you got to progress.
Right. It's almost like that would be almost like saying, but you ain't gonna run no deep pass into the fifth game. We just gonna run 5 curls. Don't want to pull nothing.
Yeah.
Defense go deep first. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I mean, speed is speed, and you speed athlete. The byproduct of you can't sugarcoat it. You can't be afraid of it either.
Yeah. Hey, I definitely agree with you, and I just hope the ones who saying that, I just hope they just have a different opinion about it, man, because it's go time. Because indoor, that's preparing you for state. It starts now. It starts now in indoor. You know what I'm saying? Because we didn't get in there and work. But telling the kid, hey, I don't run so fast. Just save a little bit. But the ones who's really getting after an indoor, they steady rising. And you a little bit behind. But yeah, I agree with you, Coach, for sure. Let me ask you this. Is it important to run faster as a freshman, sophomore, or later as a junior or senior in high school?
I think that prior, with regards to progressive development. Really big on age appropriate training and progression. So the training and athletes' ability kind of dictates their performance. And if they're a freshman and they run fast, it's based on a long-term plan, and you have these bench on it that you want to hit. And I can kind of speak this. Me talking about two young upcoming jet athletes. Last year they ran some pretty fast times for their age. Expect to run even faster. Their junior year, we kind of already have, okay, by the end of your sophomore year, you should be in order to be in the upper echelon, this is where you have to be. Okay. By your junior, these are the goals, and this is what we're trying to accomplish. And God willing, you stay healthy, the plan goes as is where you should be. So that just comes from just long term and progressive development of the athlete.
So is your goal for your athletes to have them signed by the end of their junior year, so going into their senior year they don't have to worry about it? They can.
Well,
I mean,
I mean, now that kids can sign as juniors to try to get those elite level athletes who can kind of get them kind of locked in and take care of comes on. I talk to athletes all the time about, okay, we're gonna next set up, and freshman year, we're training for and developing the foundation for sophomore year. That's where we're going to stretch the range, and we're really going to start kind of sharpening that pencil. Some national caliber times. Hey, what's up, Aretha? The parent of one of my stellar seniors, I got to talk about later. Yeah, I mean, and then the goal is love for all of our athletes to be taken care of senior year, because senior year then they've hopefully, and senior year should be about legacy. How do you want to be remembered? Is breaking records, or ending your senior year as this list or top that list, or making a world junior team, or what have you. And not at all at elite level. For some athletes, it may just be PR. For some athletes, it may be to get to it, can become a walk-on at a school of my choice. So everybody has different goals, but it's still the same. The end goal is still the same. Is we would all of our athletes to have a plan, whether that's where you're using this sport as a vehicle opportunity for something that's more long term, with career development and job placement.
Cool. Yeah. I know you put a lot of athletes in some top schools. When should an athlete focus on recruitment? At what part of the high school stage? I know we're not talking about 8 and under, 9 and 10, They shouldn't be worried about no recruitment right now. They should be
Correct.
out there having fun and running. Uh, but when should the high schoolers? When do you think they should focus? Excuse me, on recruitment, and what advice um, can you give the parents about the recruitment?
So, just to, I will be, I literally just this past weekend, phenomenal senior athletes who wants to be my interviews with my students. We brought back of our alum um, come home for Thanksgiving, and we sat and did exclusive one-on-one interviews with each one of them, asking these questions. Releasing those videos throughout the month of December on the Jones Elite Training YouTube page, which is Jones Elite YouTube page. So this question will be by myself here, but also you'll have an opportunity to hear from student athletes who are currently in the thick of it, going. Will Sistrick at NC State, who talks about experience as a non-full scholarship athlete, where he's on, and how you can use that to still get a full scholar. Skylar Holmes is at Towson University, who's a junior who taught, entering COVID or entering college during the, Cameron Rose at Clemson University, talks about that him starting off at Virginia Tech and using the transfer portal, and what that debunking some myths about the transfer portal and how that works, and then Cameron Lork at Coastal Carolina, kind of the ups and downs of that transition as a freshman going into her sophomore year. So those will be coming out. But to question in terms of when do you start thinking about recruitment, I think as early as if you're showing promise, if you want to go to college, you shouldn't just wait on performance athletically to start looking at recruitment. I think as early as going into that sophomore year, you should start kind of doing research and start looking schools and locations and majors and things like that, as you continue to kind of get better. If you're running times, because the coaches will start recruiting you, and you'll start getting those can't anyone really reach out to you until after sophomore year. I think it really gets real after the sophomores, but you should be doing your due diligence prior to that. So it doesn't hit you like wall of bricks and stop you in your tracks when it happens.
Yeah, you have to. They can't wait to their junior year and senior year to start trying to contact coaches too.
Right.
Getting those coaches DMs, get those questionnaires in, do some research on the schools y'all trying to go to. Make sure that school has a good academic program. Make sure it has a good athletic program too.
Absolutely.
So that's definitely what you're looking for. You have to look for the school that fits you, the coach that fits you. Don't get caught up in the hype, or get caught up in the hype and get to a school where that coach is not going to benefit. They won't help you much, So That's why I believe like the parents got to get involved too. They got to get involved, talk to the athlete, because some schools they go to, man, they see all I like this school, this is my dream school, but will that school, are you gonna be successful if you go to that school, or are you just gonna get caught up in their routine? You see what I'm saying? So I agree with you, Coach. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, just to that point, um, myself and Coach Daniels, between the two of us have 5 years of college coaching experience and relationships. So one you mentioned is important for all, but one of the reasons why I got into private coaching, because as a coach, in the Hayward, Oakland area, in the Bay, when I'm coaching, you would find when you go in these, a lot of parents didn't have a clue. They didn't understand, the first thing process, and they could try to fake it, but you can tell. Yeah. And I was making the decisions that was best for a lot of them. Wanted that T-shirt school. They wanted my baby go to so and so university, happy, or you know whatever the case may be. So we take pride in educating our parents about what that looks like, and then talk them through for when you go on recruiting trips, certain questions to ask coaches. It's important in having kind of a plan going into just like the coaches are recruiting you. I mean, parents, you recruiting the coaches too. You recruiting that school. So you should have a list of questions and things that you're asking and you're looking for, and specific things, because this is extremely important. That could really make a difference next 40 years. People say it's a 4-year commitment, but I tell kids it's a 40-year commitment, because if you may find your significant other there, you may choose to move there and have lay root, case may be. So you got to make sure that it's more than just they have some pretty color, a nice band, well, how does it fit you? How are the jobs post-graduate your major? If you go to this school, do they have different internship opportunities in the major that you're going into? Is this a place where you can see yourself we graduate? What happens if you get injured, or if that coach transfers and you went there for that coach is no longer, are you still going to be happy at that school? Multiple athletes have dealt with that, and being that plan, and having that advice early on, it helped them through that. They weren't taken by surprise, and caught off guard. Two athletes who had coaching changes, and but they loved the school. That was huge, that they made the right decision. So track wasn't fun for them at the time, but because they were able to, and they were there for the right reason, they figured it out, and they got into, now they're in a space where they're both athletically and academically.
Coach, you hit on something right there. That a lot of athletes don't think about it. A lot of track parents don't think about it. What if that coach leaves? Mm-hmm. Your athlete went there for that coach. They build a relationship with that coach, and they get there, and the coach get a better offer. Next year they're gone. Mm-hmm. Man, that could be tough. That could be tough on that kid. That could be tough on them.
I'm not gonna call no names, but if she's watching, she know who I'm talking. You know, I had an athlete that happened to, and was devastating. But like I said, well, I don't really like track anymore. I'm not in love with it. Like, it's not. And then the reality of, welcome to the world.
Yeah.
But you didn't make a decision based on, this one person ain't gonna be with you throughout your whole life. Okay, so now what are you gonna do to make the best out of this situation? Now, those things from a younger age, they have to come to the forefront now. You can, have a way of taking care of themselves, but if you kind of have everything in place, they're here, but everything else is good. You can't fixate on this one thing over here that ain't good. All this stuff that's good here, and we gonna work on this, but we still got all. Again, that's why it's important that you're going when you're trying to make that go through that process. It's a reality. I mean, track's not like football, but good, and you're at a mid-major, even if you're at a Power 5, the coach, reality of it is they probably, unless there's not a lot of loyalty anymore. It's a loyalty to the dollar. So if another program is going to offer a person some money, the reality of it is they have to entertain that for their own. So if they make that family or business decision, as a student athlete, you got to deal with it. Now, some kids look at it and say, well, I can just jump in the portal. Well, au contraire, move frere. If anything, and you are an upperclassman, you're running are similar to some of the top high school kids or even mid-tier high school kids coming out. It's not going to spend that money and invest that money for get this long-term lease over here. So those are things that the reality of it is. And some kids just jump in the portal without thinking things are on a little bit of money, or they may be on a lot of money. Once you jump in that portal, you lose. You thinking somebody's just going to recruit you, and they say, well, you just gave up that money and you out of luck. And
wait, so I don't mean to cut you off, because I need to ask you this real quick. So if they go on the portal, their scholarship is gone? They can't retract none of that, or just say, I changed my mind. I don't want to. I'm gonna stay here.
Once you go on the portal and clients, and the coach decides that they all right, you're going and distribute that money over here. You come back, that money gone. I'm not holding it in as a coach. If a kid is gonna jump in the portal, that money from hoping when they come back.
Wow.
So that kids have to understand and be prepared. If you're gonna make decisions without any kind of thought, just be prepared for it come with it.
Yeah, man. Because I'm seeing some top girls come out of high school, go to some big schools, and after a year, they're gone from there. They're going to another big school.
Yeah. Now, and some coaches strategically use the portal to is a freshman at this smaller school, and they're running fast, and they can come right now, and I know that they're college ready, they've shown they can compete at this level. And recruiting this high school kid, I'm gonna just go over here and see if I can get to school, because I can offer them a cost of attendance check that they school can't offer them, or a better T-shirt, where my band is louder, whatever.
Yeah.
And coaches are. So again, that's what some of these high school kids got to understand. You're high school kids, you competing against that portal, and you competing against international ships and those opportunities. So it's definitely important that you have village around you, and that you have a plan of action to help you navigate the kind of the waters of that recruiting ocean.
Yeah, Coach, I appreciate coaches like you. And I had Coach Briggs on a couple of weeks ago. Y'all really get involved in y'all athletes with the mentorship, and leading them on the right path. We want them to run fast, but we also want them to be successful and know what to do when they get to school, and just look for stuff like that. Coaches leaving, and all that. Nobody really thinks about that. Nobody really thinks about it. But shout out to you, Coach. That's what's up, man. Y'all doing some good stuff. Y'all doing some good stuff. Let me ask you this here. What's more important, you think, for your athlete to PR at a meet or get a medal?
This another. Now,
what you think, Coach? What you think? It's a trick question.
Because it depends. Number, what they did to receive that medal. Is it just a participation medal? That's to get a medal nowadays. And what that accomplished medal, and then with the PR, like, is for me, again, when we're talking about progression in different athletes, we get athletes that come in elite talent, and then we get athletes that have never of track and field in their life, or a football player that just wants to, and they have different expectation levels, still, for everybody to progress and get better. But like, what does that mean? If you run 15 seconds in 100, and you're a guy and you run 14 and you PR, that's important for your. It's not something that we're gonna stand up and applaud, because we still got a lot of work to do. That same 15 or 16 person may go into race where they're running against a bunch of other slow people, and they the fastest slow person. They think that they, the creme de la creme, because I got the medal, I'm the fastest. No, you still slow. So I remember as a young coach in Arizona, we'd go out to recruit, and kids would run, and they would run in divisions that weren't very competitive champions, and recruit them, and they would automatically, like, it would be funny, because they would run like 11 seconds, and these are guys, and they won the state, and you recruit them because maybe you saw something in them. Well,
yeah.
I'm a champion. I full scholarship. So again, it's just keeping things in perspective, and I think the coach's standpoint, or a private coaching or trainer or whatever, whoever's works upfront and honest with the kid in terms of expectation level, because kid, a kid can PR if they starting off so slow, but is that going to jump up and applaud? Now when we get past a certain threshold, getting somewhere, now let's start celebrating. But at the end of the day, I think it's important. PRing is important based on the show that you're moving the needle. And medals, like I'm music, you know, awards anyway, with regards to especially this sport, because I think that that you're in yourself and trying to become the best version of yourself. That's something.
Yeah, I agree. And my, I think that I'm not a coach. I'm just a track dad. That's all I am. But I think of course, when you get to a certain level, if you PRing, those medals gonna come with that anyway. So yeah, I agree. Um, do times matter without win gauges, coach? If it's not a win gauge on that time, coach, what you thinking?
Well, I think win gauges, and again, this comes with a caveat. Depends on where you're running at. We know about Texas win and Oklahoma win, and but we also know fast is fast, and
yeah.
The win gauges are important. Championship meet, I think is extremely important, or invitations with records, top marks. But at the end of the day, you got a clock and you got 8 lane people in every lane. The fastest person to the finish line. That's what matters.
Win or not, I believe you.
That's
yeah.
That's the end of the day.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, I always hear a lot of talk, about the wind gauges. I'm like it's fast is fast. Fast is fast. Right. What's your belief on sprinters running cross country? Yes or no? What do you think?
My immediate answer is no. And it depends why they're running. If you're running and there's a training purpose behind the run of it, for example, at a lot of, at least when I was coaching, at a lot of when I was at Morgan State in the HBCUs, you're not getting distance that some of the other and you know the team. So there'd be situations where you would have to run your sprinters to fill the full. Now, there's a strategic way to do that, and then I know coaches who strategic ways for cross country with their kids. Okay, we're gonna run. We're gonna jog to come through at this pace, and then we're gonna work on this ever. But I think sprinters, you are constantly working speed. And you can't confuse the central nervous system with long running. I have a good distance runner who ran cross country, and now she's never run indoor before, So you got to get used to turning them over a lot. 100-meter track. And she asked me before Thanksgiving, could go run in this 2-mile race. And then there was another national cross country championship. Like, cross country's over, you know, and when looking at the end of your cross country season, your term gone. Everything we worked on last year, all of that was gone. So we have to program that nervous system, and the train different. So it makes no sense now for you to go and run a long range pace and then try to come back 2 weeks later and then turn them over. That's so everything has a purpose if the right way.
Yeah. You're right. You're exactly right.
Yeah, I know that wasn't a yes or no, a quick answer, but a lot of these questions, they're really takes. I mean, and if you're doing it the right way, well thought out in terms of, what is your why? There's from a training standpoint to everything that you're doing from a training standpoint. Just running cross country just to, field a team, that's not a good enough reason, or if you're running just, to run or just to pass time, and that purpose is that serve. It has to serve a purpose. Big on explaining to my athletes, and I want them to ask me, why.
So we got something from James Daniels. He said, if you run a 200-meter down or a jump and run across country, it's anti-fast twitch. Explain that to us, Coach. Is he saying is you're affecting those fast twitch muscles, or explain that to us?
And Coach Daniels, that's my partner. Daniels High Performance. Dr. Coach Daniels, who lied and said he wasn't going speak or anything like that.
He could help it.
Well, hey, everybody questions to James Daniels. Daniels High Performance. Answer no questions, but want to ask them.
Keep them coming, Coach Daniels. Keep them coming.
But yeah, we talk about that fast twitch in that central nervous system, and people like I said, the byproduct of speed is speed. You have those speed athletes out there, running low distance, and then you're kind of killing those muscle fibers. And again, when you're talking about developing, takes time to develop, not just the also that central nervous system that you have to ingrain, doing those movements over and over and over, and it just, and it prolongs the progression of the athlete, and maybe those coaches who are the ones that are trying to keep the athletes from running fast indoor.
Yeah. You something else, Coach.
Just saying, there got to be a reason.
He said it's not making sense why the sprinters over there that cross country like that. Yeah, you're right. Oh,
when you use that theory, now it makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
hey, we can slow down.
Oh man. Yeah, man, that's just so mind blowing to me, man. But it happens. It happens, man. It happens all the time. Just a couple more questions, Coach. I'm not gonna hold you too long. Um, what should young athletes focus on before high school, technique wise? Let's say they're in the 8th grade. They're gonna be a freshman the next year. What should they focus on?
So I start with, at 10. So 10, and I won't work with anyone younger than 10. But ages, um, it's important to understand that kids don't anymore. Don't A lot of the fundamental motor skills that we now as kids from just being outside playing, a lot of that is missing. Uh, it's important that in that middle school to high that from a technique standpoint that they're learning, really trying to learn how to execute those front side mechanics, developing that posterior chain, their core stabilization, absorb force, um, and their ability body weight. Um, you know, it's all about, again, you train movements, not muscles, and training those movements to be and fast and agile and athletic. I tell my kids, I don't train, I train athlete. I'm gonna train you to be an athlete. If you're an athlete, then you're gonna be able to long jump. You're gonna be able to hurdle. You're gonna be able to ball or basketball or whatever, because all of these are so transferable to other sports if you do it right. Uh, then you're gonna have just some great athletes. Like, I mean, the field athletes, but we've got basketball players, we got football players, we got volleyball players, just people who want to be athletes and better athletes for their sport. An important distinction to make.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I say that you know what? Going into high school could be tough for some kids. It's different. It's different.
Mm.
And I had to learn that too. Like with my daughter, because
Right.
you always hear when they're running, AAU and the youth stuff. Hey, times don't matter. High school, the beast. It's the beast.
Right.
I'm like, hey, it can't be that bad, is it? Is it? Yo, that freshman year, I was like, whoa. It's for real. It's for real. It's the real deal.
Learning curve and can be some, but again, that's where that village comes into play. Of that foundation in those kids, so that when they get there, it's no different than how we try to prepare our kids when you get to college. We prepared you for the rigors of so you built for it, you battle tested.
And that's the key there. You prepared them for it. They knew what was coming. They knew what was coming, and that's good.
Yeah.
That is good. They was already ready for the war, right, Coach? They'd have been through it already. They was already ready. They said, "Come on with it. I'm ready for you."
All hey, we what was the conception in entertainment say, hey, we don't vote, we wish.
I wish you would. We got. Is this one of your athletes, Kevin June?
Yeah,
he said,
of my parents.
Oh, it's one of your parents. Okay. He says, I personally want to thank Coach Jones and Coach Daniels for their professionalism, knowledge to see the results, and they're amazing people. Hey, that says a lot right there. That says a lot. And they tell you right there, they're getting the results, you know? They're getting the results. Go ahead, Coach.
Yeah. And his son, Braylon is a senior who came, he was a kid who was a football player, and kids that play those team sports, a lot of politics and things that go on, and if things don't on the right side of those politics, you don't get those opportunities. So I am, Braylon is emerging as a track, a really good track athlete, bloomers that, a lot of coaches are going to want to for, because, he's someone who was a football. He's got that dog in him, but now you're learning how to be an athlete and learning how to run. It's definitely, we've got that who are football players who have come to track later on. We're just trying to provide them, with the best opportunities to maybe it didn't work out in football, but I was a 2-sport athlete in college. In state, I used track and field to play football. There are opportunities out there. You just got to know how to kind of finagle it and put it together.
Yeah, that's my guy Alonzo. He's a big supporter of my show. He got a question for you. And before we tackle Alonzo's question, that you bringing up some good points, Coach. Because as soon as you say, I'm like, I was thinking about that a while back. So football athletes turn to track. Do you see that a lot where they playing football and in your mind this kid need to be full-time track athlete?
So I've had, and we have these tough conversations. Trey Boyer, who is a freshman at Arizona, he was the 4-time state here. Help lead Mountain Island Charge championships. He was a football player, was a really talented track athlete. And I saw here when he came to start training with me, I be like 130 pounds. Like, football, but there's a lot of fast guys that are like 6'4", and like those dudes are they just built different. And you're in track and field. If you dedicate yourself and just trust the process. And he did. And junior year, he kind of stopped playing. I think he was playing a little bit on the side when he finally bought in, and he just started dominating. This year, he ran, I'll say 10, 3, 46, 6, 8. Just had range from the 5,500. Got a scholarship to Arizona. Cameron Rose was he was getting offers from these schools, some pretty, big Power 5 schools, and his dad was his dad went to Clemson, played on that national championship team, I think, and played in the league. So, he like father, like son. We had to have a serious heart to heart. Like, look, your son is a star in this sport. In football, he's gonna be a face in the crowd.
Yeah.
So however, on the flip side of that, one of the top running back recruits in the state, that runs for me at Charlotte Christian, he is a football player. His dad, and before I took the job at Charlotte Christian, I was coaching him. Talked to his dad about, look, if he was just being recruited by mid-major, really are serious about him playing football, he needs to take track a little more serious. More out of this year of track than playing this 7-on-7. Coaches understand times, and if he runs 10-6, it's gonna take his recruiting to a whole nother level. When in the independent schools, 100 and 200, and recruiting just went through the roof. And then coming into a senior year, he had a great senior year, and being recruited by darn near every Power 5 program now.
Wow, man! I'm telling you, track is. It's kind of, you look at a lot of great athletes, man. These other sports, man, they got a little bit of background in track somewhere, man. I'm telling you, man, track is awesome. Oh yeah, my guy Alonzo, another great podcast. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the support. So his question is, just to be clear, Coach, you're saying cross country and track are two different sports.
Yes.
Well, there you go. Yeah, that's my guy right there, man. He's a good guy.
Shout out for the question.
Say yes, it is.
Yes, you know what?
It is. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I was just having this conversation, because we talk about if you coach cross country and you coach track, those are two different stipends. They don't put them all in one. So the cross country coach, distance for track. So you have to, and great cross country is amazing. But you can't disrespect the sport like that by just throwing our kids things just to run.
Do you think those some of those coaches just being selfish because they know their kids fast, and pretty much they want the plaque for the cross country team? Do you think it's sometimes being selfish, or do you think some coaches really think it is helping that sprinter?
Okay. So I think a lot of coaches just don't know no better. And that happens when you don't really apply you take current with the time and become the best athlete. The second thing is, the coaches who do think that it's a good thing because, I ran cross country. It doesn't mean it right. So then there are, those that have that this kid is a good athlete, and they can be 7th runner because cross country, it's about, it happened. I mean, have some really good young distance runners at Charlotte Christian and I'm pretty sure they would help him out tremendously. But they're soccer players, and so to kind of bring those guys and have run, so you have numbers will be kind of counterproductive for their development, long-term development. So it goes back to, again, what I was saying about things are being made by coaches, parents, club coaches, high school coaches. It should be with the best way.
Yep. And that's what it's all about. If that's going to make them better and it happens, if it's for the best, yeah, do it. But if not, don't do it. Don't do it. Please don't do it. Because you're putting that sprinter so far behind when you do that.
Absolutely.
Because these other sprinters, they're in fall. These other sprinters are in fall training. You know?
And moralizing.
And they killing it, yo. They not playing.
Right.
We got something from Coach Daniels here. Let me pull it up here. They say, generally speaking, most coaches who have their athletes run across the country to the long, short theory of training, which is another. Hey, Coach Daniels, you got to come on the show. You got to come on the show.
See that?
Why you to come on here with him?
Yeah. Hey,
I could have both y'all on here.
I call him Yoda. I call him about to start doing interviews with him. Cause he'll throw it all out there, man.
Yeah.
Scratching their head.
Yeah, I got to get him on here, man. Hey, Coach Daniel, I got to get you on here. I can bring both of y'all back if you want. It don't matter. Hey, my deal can hold up to 10 people. It don't matter. We'll definitely get you on there. What you think about that? What Coach just said here?
No, absolutely. I mean that goes back to the kind of old school train of thought. When I first started coaching, that was how that was training, because that's how my coach coached me. Well, my coach was a cross country coach, even cross country coach that had a lot of success. So for him, that's what he knew. I don't know the first thing about somebody strong. So mine, if I get you strong, and then we have our speed. We're in our speed phase, and we always wonder the end of the year, and our hamstrings rolling up on us. And that's we've been running 2-mile runs every 2 days. All right, we're gonna run blowout one. Oh.
Blowout.
No, but
Yeah.
If you train the way that you, and if you had okay, but that's where coaching education becomes, so you understand visualization and training. Different people develop differently doing that. But at the end, you got to follow the science and keep up to date with what's current. The training trends, because things are constantly evolving. We have to evolve.
Yeah, you're right. Things are changing. Things are changing. Kids are getting faster at an earlier age, and now y'all tasked with trying to have to help them maintain that speed all the way through high school. They're running fast in middle school with no training. They running 11.9 in seventh grade. They don't have they just out there running. They just out there running.
And that's why, I think it's extremely important. It had something on there earlier about, is it important for private coaches to communicate or to have a relationship? I forget how you worded it with and it's not imperative, but again, we're making decisions that's based on what's best for the kid. But the thing that I think is important for people to understand is track and field is becoming, just like football, swimming, golf, all of these athletes have individual, school though, have their individual coaches to work on their specialization. High school coaches may have the expertise to guess if they have the talent. So parents who their kid may have some ability to participate in, they're seeking out private coaching. And like for track and field, you don't even have to run for your high school to get a scholarship. If you can run unattached and you are hitting the times, coaches care that you can run those times. So it would benefit the high school have relationships with those private coaches. The only caveat to that, you have a lot of coaches who call themselves private coaches and specialists, have a specialty, or certification, so that, out here that those coaches who are actually certified coaches and who are of success and are doing it the right way, that, those coaches have great relationships. And that's one thing that I mean, we have, club for Charlotte Heat or Charlotte Flight. And we for those coaches because we understand our roles. We understand like both of those programs do a being advocating for for our sport, getting parents and involved in the sport, but they have and it's just impossible for those coaches to be able to individualize it. So those parents are going outside of that. They're still getting the kids get to a certain level. They need some more individualized training. Now, those kids still go to those clubs and go to those high schools and run those times and those relays, and those clubs and those high schools are getting those accolades. But a lot of coaches, that ego where I want to have my hands all over it. I did this, I did. I think that's where, the kind of, comes into play, because again, it goes back to, if we're doing this for the athlete, making decisions based on what's best for the athlete, everybody should be able to kind of work cohesively together.
Yeah, and you kind of answered this already, but I'm gonna go ahead and you just hit on it. I'm gonna ask you this: elite freshmen is going into high school. What you think about high school coaches loading them up on relays, not putting them in not one individual, not one individual race? We got them on the 4x2, 4x1, and we got them on the 4x4.
Again, it goes back to what's best for the athlete, because a lot of that is about a lot of coaches' egos, but I have to try to score and get these teams to my team might not be good, but I can get these relay teams to these state meets on the back of. We are of the opinion if the other people did not the talent of that elite athlete, we ain't running them relays.
Yeah.
Because it's counterproductive. People ain't getting recruited off of the relay. You know, there is a place for it, and train through certain things, and you know, we want to see our kids on different running different different distances and do that. But again, you know, it makes in a lot of the top athlete at the end, and you want to see him run down body, a bunch of ducks in front of him, and that's putting that kid in a bad position. There's a dog and gonna go after it. They're always running from behind and not learning how to run. You know, that actually happened. You know, year before COVID, I had some athletes who ran for this high school in the battle for the state championship, and you know, the coach, they had 6 girls, and they were running every relay and individuals, and you know, the girl had a slight strain in her hamstring. You know, the relay, everything, knowing that they were going to be behind, they left her on that anchor leg, and knowing she was going to go after him, she runs at the finish line, and right at the finish line, pulls her hamstring. So now, not only do you not win the 4x1, but your top girl who's supposed to win state 100, she can't run the 200, and she can't run the 4x4. And that's her seeing that opportunity to have individual success. You know, you agree, and you weren't making the decisions based on what was best for them. You know, all of those things, you know, come into play and come into consideration. Again, it goes back to why are we doing it, and what sense to run this relay. If we're running with a bunch of slow people and we're trying to get some on first leg, we're gonna get up top. You know, and at least you know, we're not straining, or we're not getting into a bad position. You know, it just comes down to why we're doing it.
Yeah, and it's funny. You should mention COVID. I know that was a hard time, especially for the athletes and y'all too, Coach. I know we had a lot of track. We lost a lot of athletes. A lot of athletes quit track because COVID. They didn't have nowhere to practice. They lost them. And some of them coaches actually passed away from COVID. You know, how did you deal with it? What did COVID do to your coaching and everything?
Actually, COVID for us during COVID, because you know, number one, itself and Coach Daniels, you know, close together in partnership, old friends from back in our college days, coaching against each other when he was at North Carolina State. You know, so I knew of Billy as a coach and together. But like both of us, HBCU born and bred, you know, so we're used to not having, used to you know, being creative in terms of working out. We didn't need a gym. You know, we were like, okay, we got space. A lot of space because people were trying to stay 6 feet away. So it wasn't nobody out. So there's sportsplex that is 5 full-length soccer fields, all turf. Because everything was shut down, they were always open and available. So there, and we would have 3 days a week we training because people weren't socializing, elite training, and Daniel said they had a closer knit group training allowed us to really focus on really you know, what was really important on really cerebral about the training and about the sport, and our athletes need to appreciate the sport and the opportunities that the sport and the you know, we got a lot closer with our families, and you know, those relationships grew through that. I mean, we were in parking lots, you know, videos of us doing calisthenics and, you know, doing turnarounds in the park behind the gym. We couldn't go in the gym. All the gyms were closed, and you couldn't have more than 10 people, you know, social distance.
Yeah.
I had, you know, people out there. We ain't going, you know, 10 people, so parking lot. And so, you know, for us, you know, a blessing from the sense that it brought us closer together, know each other a lot more intimately, and got to appreciate each other. You know, you really learn, you know, who people, and you know, so for us, you know, we just kept, we talked, because for a lot of people, you're talking about of it, like we talked through, like, okay, this is, you know, there's, but everybody's going through it now. Built different. This is part of that those peaks and those the nation. All right, how are we gonna come out of this? The one thing, training, because COVID ain't gonna last forever, and track and field is gonna come back. And there's that saying that, you know, somewhere there's something that is working just as hard or harder than you. And when you meet face to face, you want to be that guy that everybody's talking about is working, that's going to be, and that, you know, even when you don't think somebody is working, somebody's always shining somewhere, you know, and you sleep, somebody's working, and understanding you have nothing but time, you know, and with that time, we can't just sit around and feel sorry about ourselves, this thing that we have no control over. And that goes back to racing. You know, when you can't worry about what this person over here is doing or what that person, you don't have control. You can control during COVID, you can control how you think. You can control how you respond to, how you spend your time, and how you go through your day. And you can control kind of the goals. The way that you get there may have changed, but the goals are still to be the best. And that doesn't change just because there's a pandemic and the world stops. Because we know that eventually it's going to keep moving, and we already, you know, coach don't have to get ready, you know. So we gotta stay ready, because you never know when you're not. You got to be ready.
Yeah, Coach Doug. I'm telling you, those athletes that stuck it through that COVID, Hey, didn't they come back tough? Then when that track opened back up, hey, they was
Bro,
running with some passion there.
oh,
They was rolling,
it was
man. They put up some good times,
they did.
man. I think it was a test for them. It was a serious test for them. You know,
Mm-hmm.
because they, like I said, they had friends that quit track, and you know they might have second guessed themselves. But hey, the one shout out to you and Coach Daniels for keep supporting those kids when that was going on, and shout out to those athletes that stuck through it. It was a tough time, man. Tough time.
You know, and shout out to those parents,
Oh yeah,
too,
yeah, yeah.
who to drive kids here and there, and you know, dealt with being in the house for 24 hours, with looking at them kids, you know, on them computers, sitting in closets, and you know, you don't have any kind of release from them. So, you know, I think it was great for drop them kids off for, you know, a couple hours and just breathe a little.
Oh yeah, yes indeed. So this is gonna be my last question. We're gonna get it. This is such a great show. We still got people coming in. Hey guys, we appreciate y'all watching. If y'all have any questions, also y'all can drop it over there in the comment section. Um, if you had one of your athletes who come up to you and they tell you, "Hey, coach, I want to be an Olympian," what would you tell them?
You know, it's funny because one of my this very question too. So I have a tailored response. Olympian, to be an Olympian, um, you it sacrifice and massive consistency. Um, it motivation. It was about consistency because there were days when you just don't feel like the weather. You know, um, there's a lot of sacrifice. Financially, you don't have the money or this that, and to be an Olympian, like you have to have kind of horse blinders and a a a, um, a laser like focus that you don't allow distractions. There are a lot of sacrifices that you got to make socially, a lot of things that you can't do, a lot of because there's one goal and one mission, and you got to have one of the things I talked about, being resilient, because you're gonna have injuries. You know, it's every 4 years. You 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 got focus for 4 years. You know, most of us can't stay focused. Something else pop up on the screen. We, you know,
Yeah,
distracted.
yeah.
You know, Olympian, you know, it's just a massive amounts of consistency to sticking with the plan and sticking with the program. It can't be, I want to go to the Olympics because I want to get, because I want to say that I'm Olympian. You know, it has to be a year of challenging yourself to be the greatest that you can be. Is a lot of back and forth tuggling, uh, struggling that you're going to be going through, fighting even with yourself on the course, because it's tough. You know, it's tough, and that's why there that um can call themselves Olympians, because you know most people for that, they're not built for that kind of sacrifice, and that kind of, and that's kind of one of the biggest things is, you know, consistency. I'm to Arizona next weekend, for the celebration of life. Coach is a great, George Young passed away last month. Um, you know, 62 Olympics. He was one of the top distance runners in America for Olympic Games. That's 16 years. at the top of his game, like focus. You know, they told a story about he was so focused in Munich when they had, you know, the terrorists closed down the Olympic Village, and they, you know, put up the barbed wire fences to keep the Olympians. Tried to climb the fence to get out, to get to the track to train, because he didn't want to stop. Crazy story, because you got snipers out here.
Yeah.
You know, but like an obsession, you know, that you have to that goal. And if you really, do you really want to be, do you really know what it takes to be an Olympic? Like my guy fought through injury. Like he tried to make the Olympics, and we start training, and I trained him in junior college. It took him until 2016 an Olympic team.
Wow.
All that time, just to say you just to get through and make him you know, it takes, I mean, it takes a lot of consistency. Not everybody's built for that.
Yeah, you make a great point. Especially use the word obsessed. You have to be dialed in to that.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not for everybody, you know, but it is for some. But you got to be dedicated, and it's a lot. It's a lot.
It is.
Yeah, Lonzo, we appreciate you watching, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Last thing, we're going to get out of here. Thanks for everybody watching. You have any unsigned seniors that's looking for school? If you can name their events. Because I know we have some coaches watching, so we try to get them out there a little bit.
Absolutely. I want to, you know, also say that I'm going to be at the Track and Field Cross Country Coaches Association this year. I haven't been there, so I got to get back out there and meet a lot of these new coaches. You know, younger. You see me out there, make sure that you come up, introduce yourself, holla at, exchange contact information, because I have a lot of really good this year. You know, it's kind of last year, and we only have you know, about seniors that are not signed this year. That definitely good prospects. I already talked about Braylon June, who is, you know, football player, track from North Meck High School. Keep an eye on him. Who's a football guy converting to track. He'll be competing for East High School in the 1-4 and long jump. Judo Kendo, he is interviewer. So you guys can check him out at Judah the Shooter on Instagram. It's all my interviews of my athletes, but you know, he's a 49, 11, 1, 22, 1 kid. He just starts this summer. I expect for those times to drop significantly. He's only 16 and getting ready to graduate, so a super smart kid as well. The you know, and this is kind of it's you know, surprising that he's still Monte Ferguson, who's a 3-time state champion, one of those athletes who decided to you know, play his last senior football season, and getting back out to training because they went to the state champion last week. So he had a really long football. Dealt with some injuries last year, so didn't really quite hit the times that we wanted to get. He's got PR of 10-6, 21-7, 35-5 in the but coaches, trust me when I tell you that this kid is way faster. Keep him healthy. He's a 20-point type kid, 10-2 type kid. In addition of Evan Boykin at Charlotte Christian and Evan Jones, both of those guys at 10-6 with Evan with 10-4. We should have a pretty good relay team. Definitely one of the top in the states, and he's going to be kind of hard at those 4x1 and 4x2. So our relays go. So definitely that's my Christian high school. He's definitely one to watch.
Yeah, and coaching. What I'll do, I'll make a clip of everything you said, and I'll post it for you. Just give me a few days, and I'll post that your unsigned senior clip for you, and tag you on it. And I appreciate you shouting those athletes out, Coach.
Thanks for asking.
Yeah. So, hey, Coach. Hey, it's a great show. Great show.
Thank you for having. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Love been watching you for a while, and just love what you're doing for the sport, for the athletes, and it really means some who are truly in it for the right reason, and looking for, expecting anything. You're just out creating a pump for our sport, for our athletes to kind of have a voice, and that's much respect for you, man.
Yeah, hey, I appreciate it, Coach. And like I tell people, I'm enjoying it every minute. I'm enjoying it every single minute. And I'm definitely gonna have to get you back on later on in the season, later on down the road. And you're gonna have to grab Coach Daniels too. Come on in.
Up all day. Hey, he's gonna be answering all kind of questions. He's gonna be quizzing people. That's Yoda, man. When you bring him on, have a Yoda, a screenshot of Yoda in the back.
Hey, I'm gonna tell. Hey, my track IQ ain't that good. I'm just a track dad, so hey, no, we had some more people. Hey, but Coach, I got something for you. If you want it, we got some Texas Track Dad electric clippers here. I'm gonna keep you trimmed up on that beard. I know you're on the go or whatever. I got some black ones here for you, and if you want it, I'll send it to you. Also, I got some all gold ones. If you want the all gold, just give me a week or so, and I get those to you. All right?
Absolutely.
But like I say, Coach, I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
And give everybody your social media handles.
Instagram is Jones Elite Training 25. YouTube is at Jones Elite Training 25. All one word. Twitter, capital JE _ fly with us. So it's on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Jones Elite Training. Also, you can check out our website, www.com. Trying to keep it real easy for you.
Yeah, guys, if y'all didn't get that, y'all can always just go back and just go to the end of this video. Y'all can write it down. Excuse me. And coaches that are interested in those athletes he mentioned, feel free to send them a DM. If you want some more information, just be on the lookout for that clip for his unsigned seniors, probably about probably a few days from now, I get it out. Also, you can go to his IG page. He actually has some recruited videos on there. Yeah, you got quite a few on there. Yeah, can you tell them about those videos?
So, what we created was, recruiting profile. So, coaches can go to that Instagram page. We have athletes, their class. Most of the athletes even have their NCAA 10 eligibility number on there. We did all that work, and it's going to give the opportunity to build personality of the athlete that you can potentially kind of hear from them, kind of their goals and aspirations, long they've been with Jones Elite Training. And one of the things that we say, we guarantee results. You do your work and you follow the program. And a lot of kids who are just starting with us this year, they have times that, may not be recruitable. My word that, all of our kids, by the end of the year, some pretty respectable and recruitable time. So whether that's Division I, or whatever, there's definitely for all the kids, and we have different varying levels of athletes, and we really academics piece for our athletes. So you're gonna get a good athlete, but you're also gonna get a good student and a great person.
Nice. That'll work. Hey, thank you once again, Coach. We getting out of here. Hey, everybody, thanks for watching. Make sure you go ahead, Coach. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, again, thanks for me, and definitely got to do this again.
Oh, we will most definitely. Guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button on my YouTube. You can hit that notification. So when I go live, you'll get that alert. You don't have to go looking for it. It'll be right there for you. Also, go to Facebook and IG. Go to Twitter. I'm on LinkedIn too. Just type in TexasTrackDad. It should come up. If it don't, let me know so I can get on there. But hey, thank y'all once again. We about to be out. We out. Come fly with us.
All right.